DCarsonCPA on the lines. Today we're going to talk about risk in cyber. We are refining the message to bring it through in simple points where we can help. There are 4 key points to talk about: standards on controls, audit lines, that's traditional internal and external audit, as well as financial and operational audit, risk management for the overarching global lines, and IT audit. Our connection point is that all 4 of these lines indicate strong skills that we can map to the line. We're mapped to all 4 points and have strong skills and experience on the audit, risk management, standards and controls lines. The IT audit line is one that we also have experience on from a programming and physical security and working with some of the lower lines of the modems and different things on that level. We are mapped to the strong standards for IT audit, the ones that I'll say are the best in the economy, because I've seen the different ones, we researched them, and there's some that specifically stand out to me, but I don't want to put them in a slide here because it's a lot of information to put in one place. What's important here is a broad conceptual approach to let you know we have it in Risk Plus Cyber. That point in the line would be enough to open a conversation, and that's where you need to go if you want more on this from us, because this is about specific points where we can help on roles and teamwork on Risk Plus Cyber. Now, what you need to be aware is that these are lines that are about the global 360, the cross-sector stakeholders, which is going to be industry, government, nonprofits, and individuals' families expressed by the House. It's about men, women, children, families, and the economy and financials, regardless of if you're at a local, regional, state, multi-state, national, international, or a global level. Basically, we're all contending with the same risks in the economy and financial. Lots of data going into technology, which we'll discuss in a minute, puts the value at risk into the knowledge lines, and some of that data might have control features, and there's some points that we're going to go through in terms of risk. When we think about risk in cyber, everyone's concerned about financials, and it's a good point because everyone's thinking about the controls of your financial data, the health data, the financial data. That's a pretty primary concern. People have heard about breaches that have exposed some of that data and rightfully are concerned about that. So we start with financials. That's a common grounding point for many of these skills. But what we've also got to remember is that when it comes to Risk Plus Cyber, you got to think about societal value and societal risk. So then we start to realize that energy, agriculture, health, transportation, government, individual family lines, all this stuff has elements of the Risk Plus Cyber needs for security. We're not going to get into the specific industry by industry lines, but we're going to tell you we know how to find it and we know what we're talking about when it comes to securing the risk at value, the value at risk. We know the lines and how to get there, so we're not going to explain it here, but we're going to tell you that for any of these sectors that we mark or that we talk about, we've got something of value we can bring you on the Risk Plus Cyber lines to help you out for your entity or governmental purposes or NGO purposes for shoring up the value at risk so it's not so much at risk. Because at the end of the day, you got around 360 lines. The value at risk, everyone thinks about financials, and that's true, it's part of it, but you have broad societal risk, and societal risk corresponds to the stakeholders, being the entities, which are industry, government, nonprofits, NGOs, and individual families, and the ultimate citizen stakeholders, which are individuals and families, and the need they have to feel secure with their data, to feel confident in the economy and financials. You see, if you have a system where people don't trust technology, less people will work with technology, and it weakens the process. So the order to establish stronger controls in Risk Plus Cyber, the mandate in general that every sector sees, is about making a stronger system where we can have transactions, freedom of expression, and the balance of growth and risk cyber as the point constraints on the technology lines of the economy and financials, and the point constraints for business and other needs. All right, now if you think about these different lines, again, we have specific standards per industry and we know where to go, but we're just going to talk about some data points here. Anything on these lines is about data input and data output. Data input devices are like your mobile device, your keyboard, your mouse, the ICT communication lines of data in, and then your audio-visual lines. These disks represent mainframes and computers. These are the hardware and software lines that support these cross-sector entity stakeholders. On these lines are financials and data, including the OCR, non-financial but optical character recognition of text plus financial data. Then the communications lines, your email and all those types of things, video conferencing and whatnot else, your audio and visual lines of input, and then basically the hardware, software, the personnel level angle of it, which is important, your personnel and security controls there, and then again understanding the ICT comm lines. This is in the broad line, lines about the standards, about entity and societal needs on Risk Plus Cyber. I'm Dean Carson. Cross over to the DCarsonCPA, Risk Plus Cyber lines. We can help with much more detail where we meet on services, this broad overview. Thank you.